Hey everybody, this is Jared. Happy New Year. Today is just coincidentally January 1st, and I have pretty much finished my squat rack project. I say pretty much because who knows, I'll probably fine tune a few things as I go, or whatever, tweak it if I find something necessary. So let me kind of give you a tour and show you what I did. I made a whole series of videos to kind of help you if you want to do something similar. I mean, I went into a lot of detail. Frankly, they're very detailed. So check them out if you want to get some ideas on how to do this. I tried to do it as if you're a novice and you're not real handy. So hopefully you can do it. I know I didn't include everything in there. There's a little bit of fatigue involved in this. Some things were more time consuming than I expected, and then filming it more time consuming. So I apologize if something's not included. Feel free to ask questions, and hopefully I can help you if you had a question about how something was done or whatever. I've already seen some things where I'm thinking maybe that may not be ideal, or I might change it in the future, but I'll kind of give you a little tour and tell you what those things are and what I learned, if it's going to help you or not. Okay, so, and I'll fold it up and everything so you can see it in action. Oh, and I did put weight racks up too. I'll explain that too. Okay, so I don't know where to start. So the lumber, and I'll kind of talk about the cost too. And I did talk about that in some of my videos. For the wood and a lot of the hardware, I think it totaled around $150. But then gosh man, things nickel and dime, so it probably got closer to $200. But then I'll probably take a couple things back because maybe it'll be around $175, $180. For example, that down there, if you can see that, it's called threaded rod. I was going to put it up here to join the two when they were up, and I did put that on there. I drilled some holes, but I actually filled them in with caulk. I couldn't find my wood filler, and I was like, oh, caulk will work. You can see, and actually I've got a couple holes because I screwed up on one. But anyways, that's I put it up there, and then I was like, well, it doesn't really make a difference to the stability. It still wiggled a little, which is fine. I'm not really concerned about it, but I thought I don't really need that. I'll take it back and get my $7 or $8 back. Whatever. So I'm not doing that. Hopefully, well, plus I don't know. I don't think I'll regret it. It takes a little time every time to put that up, tighten the little lock wing nut, and get it secure. It's another couple minutes, and I don't think it makes a really necessary difference. Okay, so the main components are the wood and these hinges and a lot of screws. Okay, so I got a 2x8 up on the wall, and I just went ahead and extended it all the way over here. That's not necessary. You could have just stopped right there at the end of that hinge, but I just figured I'd go all the way to all. It's almost to the corner. Should have gone a little further and covered up that spot where I had a tool rack up there, lawn tools and stuff. So I got another 2x8 down there. Those are called strap hinges. Obviously there's 4 of them, 2 here, and then on the other one over there. Okay, then I've got 8 of these little 90-degree ties. I think they're called just something tie. I can't remember, but they're by the lumber to tie it together. So I got 1 on top, 1 on the bottom, down there, and the same at each of the 4 places where the 4x4s join. Okay, and then it's covered up there by what's called a nail stopper. Again, that's near those ties, same place. There is a bolt in there that's, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches. I can't remember. You can see in the other video. But that bolt goes to connect this into that. In addition to these, it's not going anywhere. It's nice and sturdy. If anything, I tried to overbuild it. And then the reason this is looking kind of weird, and you can even see that splitting there, I saved myself $4.50 by using some old 2x4s I had laying around, but they're not near as, I don't know, they had some splitting. If that has a problem, we'll have to change it out, which is not a big deal, but when you've been working on this for days, it's like I'm sick of messing with it. Anyways, okay, so I've got this. This is for me to squat, and I've got just cut that at an angle. That's using my little yellow miter box I've talked about in the other videos. So I cut that. That just goes up a little bit extra to hold the bar. I don't really think this is even necessary. And by the way, that's in the same location as as those things near the lumber at Home Depot. That's where I bought most of my stuff. I'm sure some other place would have it too. So that's for me to squat, and that's for my wife to squat. She's about 5'5", I'm about 6'2". So I didn't want to try to mess with anything adjustable. That's my answer for squatting. I don't think it's going to be an issue for benching. I did test it out the other night, and I was like, well, man, I put it on there, and I have to, if I'm getting heavy, I gotta get the weight up and then clear it and make sure I don't hit my wife's. So we'll see if this is going to be a long-term solution, or if I just maybe not lift very heavy. I don't know. Okay, so that's that. A lot of screws and another bolt. I put another bolt in here. Just, I don't know how long it is, but it's long enough to go through all this and into there. So probably 5 inches or so. And then this one up here too. This one's a little shorter than that one because it doesn't have to go through this extra piece. But that, I think that's nice and sturdy. I'm not real worried about it. If I load up some weight, all I had on here so far was 135. Just the first time to test it out. And there was no wiggle or anything. But if I ever get heavy and figure out that I need to do something, I'll do something when I need to. Okay, so that's pretty much kind of explains that, I think. Okay, I did add these, and I didn't paint that one. I forgot to paint that. This is just some 2x4s I cut up because when I went and bought this bolt over here, I had to have some way to attach this piece to get this bolt in, and I didn't have anything. Plus, I wanted one 2x4 here to just carry more weight than just the hinge holding the weight. So when you set this up, the weight is, can rest on that and this, I guess. But I had to add this one when I got this. Is that necessary? I don't know if it's even necessary to have this thing at all. If you have it, you got to have this. But there's that. Whatever you think about that. I do have small children, and I don't know, they like to mess with stuff. I don't plan on doing this when they're out here, but I don't know. I just figured, what's the harm in this extra little security? And there's one on each side over here. There's not one on the bottoms, but just on the tops. Okay, so here was some challenges I had. I wanted to keep that thing, and I literally have about 7 feet between that thing and this rail on the garage door. So I just had to kind of make my measurements real precise and so forth, and get everything right where it is so I'll show you how I'm going to hang that bar up when I'm done. But I had to make these extra long from the back wall to the front. I don't need that much distance, but I do if I want to clear that, and if I want to load a 45 on here, I need to have this space. So I had to make that, I don't know, I think the total distance from here to the back wall is 30 inches or 32 inches, something like that. I know basically I made this piece 27 inches. This is 3.5, and that 2x8 is 2x4s are really closer to 1.5 inches. So it adds up to about 30 inches. Whatever, I can't remember what I just said, about 32 inches, I think. So that just, you got to make the right measurements. If you don't need to come out that far, you could probably come out 18 inches from the back wall if you don't have something like this to get around. Also, I'll show you this. I made these little notches up there so that I can set this bar up there and do pull-ups. I did steal that, or get that idea from another YouTube video as I was studying. And I'll just show you. What tool did I use? It's called, I don't know, I think they call it a multi-tool. I got this one at Harbor Freight. It's just an oscillating multi-tool. And I think I've had it for a while. I think it cost me about $20. And I use that to cut those notches. I use that drill. That's a pretty heavy duty hammer drill. Heavy duty for a homeowner, let's say, not contractor grade. I did need that drill for some of these. I think a regular household drill would have been fine for everything except like these bolts that I was trying to get. That bolt back there too, had to really push it in there. And I did use the hammer drill for that. Sorry, what was that? The tools. Oh yeah, I cut this notch out. Not the easiest thing. In hindsight, I think an easier way would just be add a couple of little pieces of wood up here, one here and one here, to set that groove. But that's all right, mine'll work. I do clear the garage door. Normally I won't be having it open, so when I have the garage open, it does hit that piece right there, and I can even show you, it barely scrapes it. But normally I won't have the garage open, and so it won't be an issue at all. So that's it. Let me break it down. I think that's everything for you. Let me just kind of take it apart and show you. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me mention this a little more. So what I did for these, there's kind of strategically placed. There's 25s and 35s down there, 45s there, and the little ones up there. I didn't want to put anything real heavy up there, just in case I have an issue. So all I did for this was I used some old, well, actually that one down there is a 2x8, which is just left over from when I had, by the way, I did have Home Depot cut these for me. I don't really have anything that would be easy to cut 4x4s with. I literally made the cuts for these with a handsaw and a little yellow miter box. So I had Home Depot make my cuts, and they did a good job, thankfully, because I've had them cut stuff before where they were not as careful and things weren't all the same length. These were pretty good. Okay, back to this. So I had that little bit of 2x8 left over, so I drilled a hole. I did have to buy this. I didn't have anything capable of doing that. That's a 1 1/4 inch, and I bought a 1 1/4 inch dowel. It was, I think, 48 inches long. This is all that's left. So I cut those holes, I believe, 5 inches. Yeah, it's about 5 inches long. Or, I'm sorry, I cut those little pegs about 5 inches long. Drilled those holes. I'll post another video about that so you can see that. There is a couple of tricks to that if you're not aware. Used wood glue, stuck them in there, and waited overnight. Screwed them to the wall. And like I said, there's some strategies why I put them where I did. Basically, this bench hooks on that red hook, and the only thing that would fit, you know, I have to have a stud to attach it to. That's where I could put the 45s when everything's folded up, and those could be down there out of the way, so you know, hopefully the kids won't mess with them and so forth. Okay, let's break it down and show you. Let me set the camera back here. Okay, here we go. Get the bench back out of the way. Real quick, I'll show you this. Oh, can't do that. Haven't done that with the garage open. But it does rest up there, and I did a pull up. It does work. Trust me. I want to keep the door open for the light. It's real dark in here. When I close that. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. I do have casters. I'll show you real quick. They are locking casters. That's one port. I hope that doesn't fail. They're not, you know, they're casters. They could, I think they said they're only rated for 150 each, but I really don't think it's going to be an issue. I don't think I'll be squatting too much. I haven't squatted in over 25 years, but if I do get heavy and that fails, I'll have to figure something else out. Lock it and unlock it. And slide that back. I don't know if you heard that. It did just scrape right up there, but it barely scrapes. Okay, let's see. There you go. Okay, so that's pretty simple. I'm pretty pleased with it so far. Hopefully, I got some little hooks here just to hold it shut. Again, that's not necessary. I do have small children though, 4 and 6 years old, so I just want to kind of secure everything as best I can. This sticks out less than 6 inches, I guess maybe a little more than 6 inches if you include this. This ladder hook right here, they say they're rated for 50 pounds. Well, that's a 45-pound bar, so hopefully 2 of them can hold it. That sticks out 9 inches. And because of the location of the studs and the location of my garage door and this shelving unit, barely fits. I gotta kind of go in at an angle, hook it just right on the outside of this, again, because of where the studs are. And I don't know if you can see over there, I missed the first shot. Got a little hole there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Might as well, here, let me show you the bench. I got that. The bench does have wheels at one end, so that's handy. And I've got that one red hook. I bought two of them, or I had two of them actually. I didn't buy them. They were laying around the house or the garage. I hooked that one up and it seems fine. I don't think I need another one. It's not bearing the weight. The wheels are on the ground. It's just basically holding it up against the wall, so we can pull our car in. And my 4-year-old can still get out over here. There is enough room for him to get out. If I'm driving the car and my wife's riding, she has to get out before we pull in. But that's because of the shelving unit. That didn't change. Okay, let's see. I think I pretty much covered everything. Like I said, it's nice low profile. Even the bench doesn't stick out any further than the shelving unit. So that's really no big deal. And I put it up here close to the front. So like I said, my 4-year-old can get out. Hope you like it. Hope it gives you some ideas. Again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Well, hopefully this will be a long-term solution. I think squatting will be fine. The bench, as I mentioned, when I bench off there, as I'm going down, I got to make sure I don't bump into my wife's bench rack. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out the other videos if you want some more detail. And, oh, I got to mention this, because I guess if you share something with a bunch of strangers, it'll give you some kind of accountability. I'm not doing this because it's January 1st. I haven't literally squatted since high school, at least nothing regularly. I might have done it a little bit in college. I haven't literally done any since then. My 47th birthday is in this month, and I would like to try to dunk again. I used to be able to dunk, but that was back when I was squatting, and it was back when I weighed about 40 pounds less, maybe 50 pounds less. So I'd like to see if I can do that again before I hit 50. And if I tell a bunch of strangers, maybe that'll help me do it. All right, so stay tuned. Maybe I'll give you an update if I can do it. If I don't do it, I won't give that update. But if you have any questions about this, feel free. Maybe I can help you. If you have some ideas, I'm sure there's some things I could have done better. And there's some things you don't need to do. This creates a lot of extra screws, just cutting and screwing. If you don't need to do two of them, that's easier. And I made these longer so that I could just stick my wife's rack right into that one. Because, and you might say, well, why didn't you just do one for her and one for you? Well, I didn't want her to try to have to rack the bar in this much space, you know, because I need to give, if I was going to put mine up here, it needs to be about 4 inches to bolt it in to this. So then the bottom of mine would have been here. Hopefully you understand what I'm getting at. And then hers would have been here. So she'd have to try to rack the bar. And I don't want her banging into this. I don't want to take any chances. I thought this was a better solution. And I think for squatting, it's fine. And like I said, we'll see about the bench. Feel free to share your ideas with me. I'm sure there could be better ways to do this. But that's what I did. And there you go. All right. Happy New Year.